Okay, so I'm live.
Maybe. You should say go live, right?
Yeah, but it said live 15.
Yeah, I guess you've already gone live.
Okay, well, if you are out there listening to us have this conversation and
Yeah, it's already live.
it's live.
Yeah.
Okay, we are live. If
How do you stop it though?
we were live, we're going live for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this is
So my husband and I coordinated our tie-dyes today. I'm just kidding. We just both have a lot of tie-dye. Yeah, so that was some first hand got to see firsthand my tech support, and so one thing my tech support did for me this week was help highlight the donate button on my website. So if you are interested in donating to this podcast, portion of the proceeds will go to Revolution Therapy and Yoga here in Athens, formerly known as Rubber Soul Yoga Collective, and a portion for the month of August will go to Fair Fight. So you can look up that organization if you're interested. Yeah, so all donations are accepted and appreciated. So this week the title of the class is Triumphant Uprising. That term might be familiar because I often use it to describe or translate the term Ujjayi Pranayama, the triumphant uprising breath. So today I'm using that term again to describe the experience of an arm balance. So we are going to take flight in the one-legged flying pigeon pose today, Ekapada Galavasana. We'll do lots of preparation to get there, so we better get started. This is only a 60-minute practice. So if you have not already, please roll out your mat. I've lit a candle tonight to distract me from the scent of food in the other room. Yeah, so if you have props, gather them around and find a place to take a seat. So attempt to create a seated position where physical discomfort is not going to distract you from your breath. So there might be some physical discomfort, but try to minimize it by using props underneath the hips in the form of blankets or blocks, or you might even sit on the edge of a chair. Find your way into your seated position and then close your eyes. Invite yourself here, onto your mat, into this time and space for the yoga practice. And with this idea of arrival, start to notice your breathing. So consider that the breath is one mechanism of the body that can be done consciously, but is often done subconsciously or unconsciously. So the moment you become conscious of your breath, you might recognize that the mind or the intention immediately changes the breath. So it's hard to observe without intervening. So you might have just reactively begun to slow down your breath, draw more air into your lungs, direct breath in and out through the nostrils. Just notice what the breath is doing, what you're doing to the breath. Collect some data about the quality of your breathing at this moment, the qualities. Are you breathing quickly or slowly? What regions of the body is the breath expanding as you inhale? Where are you feeling a deflation or a contraction as you exhale? Are you able to breathe in and out through the nostrils? Are you breathing more vigorously through one nostril or the other? Does that correspond to the feeling that one lung is being filled more than the other? Use this observation of breath to arrive in this space in your body. And now, having arrived, we'll take more attention to the alignment of this seated pose. Become aware of the spaces where your lower body is making contact with the surfaces beneath you. Create an energetic connection between your physical body and the earth by extending energy downward. This might be achieved by visualizing roots growing from your body into the earth. And then from the earth, from this deeply rooted seat, begin to triumphantly uprise out of the earth, up through the spine. You might aid this triumphant uprising by drawing the shoulders up towards the ears, lengthening along the sides of the body. Keeping the sides of the body long and the armpits lifted, loop the shoulder blades together behind the heart, creating a gentle contraction of the upper back muscles as the heart opens and the chest lifts. Notice if this opening of the chest has caused the head to tilt back. If so, draw your chin down parallel to the floor. Ease the sides of your neck back to align the head over the heart over the center of the pelvis. Let the weight of the forearms melt towards the earth, shoulder blades drawing down the backside of the chest. Back to the breath. And notice if this attention to alignment, this defining the parameters of the posture, has made more room for breath. Transition to the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, the triumphant uprising breath, by creating a contraction at the back of your throat. So you are limiting the rate of intake. You are limiting the rate that breath leaves the body. And by creating this parameter, is it possible that you can breathe more slowly and more fully? Again, collect data on the breath. And as we have begun to establish a slow, deep breathing pattern, we'll begin working with a ratio of 2-to-1. So meaning that the inhalation will, or the exhalation will double the duration of the inhalation. So we'll do this 3 times together, and I'll use the inhale count of 4 and the exhale count of 8. Again, we'll go through that 3 times, and then I'm going to let you do 3 rounds on your own, and you decide what count works for you with the 1 to 2 ratio. 1 to 2. I don't know if I said 2 to 1 before. Okay, exhale, empty the lungs, and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill the lungs, hold at the top momentarily, exhale with control. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Empty the lungs. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sip in any additional air at the top of the lungs. Exhale with control. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill and hold. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Empty the lungs, and 3 on your own. Upon completion of your 3rd round of Ujjayi Pranayama on your own, draw your hands together in front of your heart. Okay, we will chant Om, A-U-M, 3 times before beginning the moving practice. And let's, again, consider an emphasis on the 3-syllabic sound, so that the beginning of the Om starts deep down in the abdomen, in the pelvic region, vibrates up the middle body, and culminates at the back of the throat. Exhale and inhale for Om. Bow your head to your heart, release palms to thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Welcome. Okay, we're going to begin with a twist. So you might switch the cross of your legs if you have one leg in front of the other, before taking the left hand behind the hip, right hand crosses to the left thigh. Inhale, grow tall along the spine. Exhale, and begin to revolve. Staying connected, rooted, grounded through the legs and hips. And then rising up out of the hips, growing tall along the spine, And then revolving around a central channel as though the torso is becoming the steps of a spiral staircase, moving from right to left, bottom to top. Keep the right hand as it is, left arm extends along the left ear. Keep the left hip grounded as you reach up out of the left fingertips. Exhale, lean the upper body at an angle towards the right. Use the right hand against the thigh to draw the right shoulder forward. Look up. Breathe. Notice. Extend. All of these words. So become aware of the left side body. Where and what are you feeling? Breathe awareness, prana, vital energy along the left side body, creating space and expansion. Inhale to come back to center, right hand behind, left hand crosses to the right thigh. Inhale, grow tall, and exhale, revolve. Left to right, bottom to top. And think about moving from the inside of the body to the outside of the body. So often we focus how to adjust our bodies into the shape that we think the pose should look like. Can that be done from the inside out? Move the pose with breath. Keep the collarbones broad. Left hand stays where it is. Right arm reaches along the right side body, lengthening up through the right side. And then exhale, lean the upper body over the left thigh. Use the left hand to draw the left shoulder forward, perhaps looking up beyond the right tricep muscles. Keep the right hip drawing downward, earthward as you reach through the right fingertips. Awareness, breath along the right side body, between the ribs. And inhale to come back up. Okay. Remove any padding that you may be seated on and come to the top of the mat in a tabletop position. Plant your wrists below your shoulders, spread your fingers, knees are hip-width distance as we prepare for the cat and cow stretches. Inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze lift into cow pose. And exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling, push the earth away, dome the upper back in cat. And inhale back to cow. Move through these two poses, synchronizing breath and movement, exploring the range of motion of your spine at this moment on your mat, recognizing that there is an opportunity here to be present. There is an opportunity to acknowledge this moment as something new, something different, an experience to be discovered. So as you begin to discover your spine and what and where it might be experiencing sensation, decide how you might begin to modify your movement. So maybe you hold in one shape or the other. Maybe you move your hips from side to side or make circles with the hips. How do you start to, first work within the framework of the pose's alignment, and then begin to shape the practice into an expression of your experience on the mat today. Okay, we are going to take the right knee towards center and then bring the left foot between the hands. So the hands might be on fingertips, or you might even place blocks underneath each hand. Your knee can be on the floor, or you can pad the knee with a blanket or a doubled up mat. We're gonna shift the hips forward as we lift the heart and gaze up, roll the shoulders back, and then as you exhale, send the hips back into a runner's stretch. Left toes point towards the ceiling and spine rounds, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the leg. Inhale to bring you forward. Release the hips down and forward, lift the chest up, gaze up, and move forward and back again, synchronizing breath and movement, exploring the range of motion again of the upper spine, similar movements as cat and cow there. And now bringing more awareness to the hips, the front of the right hip, the back of the left leg. Tuning in and gradually expanding the boundaries of what is possible. Okay, let's come back to tabletop and switch legs. Left knee comes inched towards center as the right foot lunges between the hands, and inhale, chest forward, hips down, gaze up. Exhale, hips back, right toes towards the ceiling, back of the right leg lengthens, round the spine. Inhale to move forward. And exhale to shift back. Again, let the sensation, the conscious movement of your body with breath help you to arrive in this moment. Don't miss this. Okay, move back to table and then swing your legs forward. We're gonna get down on our backs. As promised, take a long look at the legs and hips in preparation for our peak pose, our flight that we will take later, the one-legged king pigeon pose. So if you do not have a traditional strap, you can easily substitute the strap with a necktie or a hand towel or any other rope fabric lying around. Extend through the heels. And we're going to start with the left knee drawing into the chest. Loop the strap around the left foot, holding the strap in both hands. Energize and extend the left leg. So by energize, I'm meaning tone the leg. So as you push out through the heel, pull back through the toes, draw the knee in and up. So I started calling that action Janu Bandha, or knee lock. So knee draws in to the leg and pulls up the leg with the engagement of the quadricep muscles. So now the leg should be, long-ish, as long as you're as extended as you can get it, and then start to lift the heel towards a 90-degree angle. As the left leg goes up, keep the right leg grounded to the earth. Right toes pointing straight up, and then engage the right leg while you're at it. Push out through the heel, pull back through the right toes, Janu Bandha on the right side. Keep enough slack on the strap so the head and shoulders can remain grounded, so not too much tension or work in the upper body for this shape. Focusing primarily on extension of the back of the left leg. So by being here for a little bit of time, you might start to experiment with going taking the leg higher or bringing the leg even beyond that 90-degree angle, walking the hands further up towards the foot, if any of that is appropriate. If you're chilling, put that in air quotes, in some shape, and you're like nearly overwhelmed by what you're experiencing in your body, there's no need to go any deeper than that. Only create as much sensation as you can, process at any given time. Widen the left outer hip away from the left armpit, keeping the left side of the body long. And then we're going to pass the strap into the left hand. Right hand can ground the right thigh or extend out to the right. Widen the left leg out to the left slowly, keeping the right side of the body grounded. So the chest, the ribs, the front of the pelvis are still pointing up towards the ceiling as you extend the left heel towards the left wall. Again, tone that leg, push through the heel, extension of the inseam of the left leg. And then if this requires more, like if you're this idea of finding the Goldilocks pose, the not too hot, not too cold, just right. So if this is just the experience of your body in this moment is like kind of boring or just like doesn't feel like enough, then the heel might start to lift higher. So I'd call that heating up the porridge. If the iteration that you're in at this moment is too much sensation, overwhelming, stressful, then the leg might come up a little bit. You could even maybe put a prop underneath the right foot in the form of a block. Okay, from here, sweep the left leg back through center, past the foot or the strap into the right hand. Left arm can sweep out to the left, keeping the left shoulder pushing towards the floor. Start to guide the left leg over to the right. Again, push out through the heel, pull back through the toes, engage the left leg to the best of your ability in this shape. Consider ungripping the abdomen. Consider widening the left hip away from the face. Again, looking for that space where the sensation is interesting without being overwhelming or, makes you want to never do yoga again. Okay, so from here we're going to bring the left leg back to center, release the strap, re-square the hips, and then bring the left knee in and up towards the left armpit, squeezing it in, squeezing it up, and then take hold of the left foot, with both hands. So grip the outside of the foot with the left hand, inside of the foot with the right hand, or if you have the space, interlace your fingers around the sole of the foot. So the right foot is pointing straight up towards the sky. Now begin to push the foot into the hands. Energize the leg. And then with the hands, begin to draw the knee down. So there's a pushing with the foot, a pulling with the hands, opposing forces. So this is half happy baby. Again, if this is your perfect porridge, stay here. If you need to heat it up, then the right leg might extend. The heel might go down. The calf might push down. The right thigh might even push down as you continue this push and pull of the foot into the hands. And the hands into the foot, drawing the left knee down. Okay, from here, if you have extended the right leg straight, bend the knee, foot back to the floor. Guide the left ankle over the right thigh, keeping the foot flexed. Setting up for threading the needle or figure 4 pose. Draw the right thigh into the chest, bringing the left shin closer to the chest. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Start there. Assess, listen. You might then change your hands to in front of the shin to bring the left shin in closer to the chest. So this is the first time we're going to visit this leg position, but not the last. So this is kind of, this is very similar position of the leg as we will eventually do in our peak pose of flying pigeon. So you might choose to stay here if you feel sufficiently challenged in the left outer hip. If you feel you might have the space, then hook the elbows underneath the left leg, and then peel the head and shoulders up away from the floor, extending the right leg straight out in front of you. You might keep the arms like this, or cradle the left shin with the arms, bringing the foot into the right elbow and the knee into the left elbow, keeping the foot flexed, ankle straight. You might choose to stay here or hook the ankle once again underneath the right elbow, take the left arm overhead, bend the left elbow, and clasp the hands, resting the head back into the left elbow. Push out through the right foot, breathe into the shape, notice the left outer hip. Okay, release the clasp if you have it. Right foot back to the floor. If it's not, uncross the legs and extend the legs straight. Okay, that was a lot of time and attention on the left side. Is it the case that your left leg is longer than your right leg in this moment? It's okay, mine is too. We have to do some work on the right side now. Left leg stays grounded as you draw the right knee in and up towards the chest. Take your strap or strap substitute around the right foot. Extend the right leg straight. Push through the heel. Draw back through the toes. Knee lock, Janu Bandha. Knee pulls in. Knee draws up with the engagement of the quadricep muscles. Head and shoulders can stay grounded. So again, assess the pose. So use the alignment cues, the specific shape, to identify the boundaries or the parameters of your experience of this shape. And then with time, with attention and breath, is it possible to start to feel that the back of the left leg, the back of the right leg is getting longer. So maybe the heel reaches higher towards 90 degrees. Maybe if you're at 90 degrees, maybe the leg starts to move past that 90 degree angle, in which case the hands might walk closer to the foot. Could you keep your head and shoulders on the floor and grab the foot? Might be interesting. Might just be some really hot porridge that you don't want to eat. Keep the left leg grounded, push out through the left foot, push out through the right foot. Okay, pass the strap into the right hand. Left hand grabs the thigh or widens out to the left as you guide the right leg out to the right, keeping the left shoulder, left hip rooted to the earth, keeping the front of the hip, front of the pelvis, front of the chest opened to the sky. Push out through both feet. Feel the extension of the right inner leg. Perhaps turn up the heat by lifting the heel. And then right leg back through center, past the foot or the strap into the left hand, right arm out to the right, keep the right shoulder pushing downward as you guide the right leg over to the left, stacking the right hip on top of the left hip. Push out through the feet to the best of your ability. Breathe into the parameters of this shape. Then consider the breath as a tool for expanding and softening those boundaries. As you're ready, right leg back to center. Release the strap, both feet to the floor. Re-square the hips, right knee in and up towards the right armpit. Squeeze it in, squeeze it up. Give it a hug, and then grab the foot with both hands. Angle the shin perpendicular to the floor, sole of the foot open to the ceiling. Interlace the fingers. If you have the space, push the foot into the hands and begin to draw the knee downward. Kick and pull. Okay, again, we found ourselves in this half happy baby shape. Do you want to experiment with extending the left leg straight? How does that feel? Is that enough? Too much? Do you want to bring the left heel down, the left calf down, even the left thigh down? How do all of those things change the experience? Okay, finally, left foot to the floor, and we'll do our figure 4 flying pigeon on our backs build up. So right ankle crosses over the left thigh, keeping the foot flexed, draw the left thigh into the chest. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Start here, assess the boundaries of the right hip. Possibly bring the hands in front of the left shin as you draw the right shin closer to the chest. Experiment with hooking the elbows underneath the right shin, keeping the foot flexed as you extend the left leg out in front of you and curl the head, neck, and shoulders up away from the floor. Stay here or cradle the shin. Stay here or bring the left elbow underneath the ankle, right arm along the right ear, bend the elbow, clasp the hands or use a strap, release the head back into the right elbow. Keep the right foot flexed, widening the right hip away from the right shoulder. Release the bind if you have it. Uncross the legs, re-square the hips, and now draw both knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs, squeeze in. Feet relax side by side, head heavy, neck long, shoulders into the back body, so heads of the arm bones towards the floor. Release that, and we will do some leg lifts, so some core work. Culminating each time in a half Navasana. So I don't want to surprise you as I did my Monday class with that. So lie on the back with the legs extended. For the most support, your hands can be a little underneath the hips or by the hips. For less support, you can sweep your arms up by your ears. Squeeze the legs, lengthen the tailbone, bring the heels up to a 90-degree angle. Tone the legs in, lengthen the legs out. And then exhale, lower the legs about 1/3 of the way towards the floor to a 60-degree angle. From 90 to 60, lower ribs in and back, tailbone long, reach through the heels, squeeze the legs, Janu Bandha, both knees. And then one more time, 1/3 of the way to the floor. Likely, this is harder. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. Start smiling. And then as promised, bring the heels about 1 foot from the floor. Fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Peel the head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. Half Navasana, or Ardha Navasana. Reach the heels, lift in the kneecaps. Open the chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, arms down, head down. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. Release into that support. Return to the breath. Arrive in this moment. Okay, one more time. Hands under hips, by hips, or overhead. Squeeze the legs, lengthen the legs, lift the legs to a 90-degree angle. Lower the heels 1/3 of the way down, 60 degrees. Tone, lengthen the legs and back body. Keep breathing. Continue smiling, start smiling, or don't, but always be breathing. Okay, 1/3 of the way. Heels to a 1 foot hover, arms up, curl up, head, neck, and shoulders up away from the floor. Squeeze the legs, reach to the heels, look to the toes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, arms down. Release to the earth. Return to the breath. Knees draw into the chest and hug gently. We're going to start to rock and roll gradually along the spine. Roll to the hips, roll to the shoulders a few times. Just keep going, it feels good. Okay, plant the feet and send it back. Send the legs back into downward facing dog. Hello. Hello, little doggy. Okay, so I'm looking at the time. And boy, that took a long time to do all that, didn't it? So we better do some push-ups right away. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower down with control. Inhale, press up. This can be done on the knees. Exhale, hips shift back to downward facing dog or child's pose in the case of on the knees. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. 3. 2 more, first set. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. 4. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Push up. Hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale to come forward to plank, and everyone lower the knees to the floor. Tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling as though doing cow pose in the low back. Look forward, reach the chin forward, and exhale, bend the elbows back, lowering the chin and chest to the floor at the same time, roughly. Slide forward onto the belly, and we're going to take flight here. Okay, so we're drawing everything, giving it everything we got to get our bodies up off of the floor, imitating flight. So think weightlessness, think flight as you extend back through the toes, reach through the fingertips. Inhale, triumphantly rise up away from the floor. Pull away from the force of gravity using the strength of your back body. Keep breathing, crown of the head lifted, reach through the toes, reach through the fingertips. Keep rising. And let it go. Left cheek to the floor, arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart, head heavy, neck soft. Upper back broad, lower back broad. Return to the breath. Return to the experience of being held, being present. Chin back to the floor, arms out. One more time. Point the toes. Again, weightlessness, flight, triumphant uprising. Inhale. Continue to breathe here as your front body elevates, levitates away from the floor. Soften the edges of the mouth. Slowly lower down, left cheek to the floor, arms at your sides. Big toes touch, heels wide apart, head heavy, neck soft, upper back broad. Return to the breath. Return to the present. Chin back to the floor. Tuck the toes, lift the kneecaps, reach through the heels, tone the muscles of the legs, plant the wrist by the ribs. Exhale, push up. Inhale and plank, and exhale back, downward facing dog. So second set of push-ups. Inhale forward to plank, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back, 1. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back, 2. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back, 3. 2 more. Inhale forward, exhale lower, push through the knuckles, press up, exhale back, last one. Inhale forward, exhale lower with control, push up and back, downward facing dog. Walk slowly to the top of your mat with each footstep, swaying the hips side to side, lengthening from the hips down to the heel with each step. Eventually arriving in a forward fold at the top of the mat with feet hip width distance apart. Bend the knees to rest the torso on the thighs, let the upper body hang forward, take hold of opposite forearms or opposite biceps. Use some movement to aid the release of the upper body towards the earth. Swaying side to side, shaking the head yes and no, identifying tension. And through identification, through acknowledgement, the possibility of ungripping, letting go. Okay, fingertips back to the floor in front of you or blocks. Push the feet down, lift the hips up, actively lengthen the crown of the head towards the floor. And then as you inhale next, gently bring the fingertips to the shins, come up halfway, shoulder blades on the back, chest parallel to the earth. And then exhale, fold fully forward, fingertips back to floor or blocks. Inhale, rise to stand, push down through the feet, reach through the fingertips, look up. And exhale, move into Tadasana, rolling the shoulders back, opening the palms forward. Stand tall, strong, confident, vulnerable in your mountain shape. Couple of half sun salutations. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale to draw up halfway, and exhale to fold in. Rise with the next inhale, push down with the feet, reach up with the fingertips. Exhale, back to mountain. One more time. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, flow forward. Inhale to rise, and exhale back to mountain. Okay, So our peak pose, it's finally here. We have a bit of time to do it. So we will do it. So as I've said several times, this is Ekapada Galavasana, or flying pigeon pose. This is a challenging pose. It's hard to fly as a human. Oh, Christian is. Yes, Christian. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for saying hi. I was like half checking to make sure that there wasn't something wrong with the stream. Okay, so let's do this. So this is a pose where there's lots of places along the journey here where you can stop and reflect and stay if you feel that that's where your stopping point is for today. Okay, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna start on the right foot, and so root down through the right leg, push into the earth, and then turn the left knee out to the left, as though you're going to set up for tree pose. And then cross the left ankle over the right thigh, making that figure 4 shape with the legs. Now, sink the hips down into an imaginary bar stool, so higher than your chair, keeping the left foot flexed, and either choose to stay here or hinge at the hips, folding the upper body over the left shin. Choose to stay here or bring the fingertips to the floor or a block or 2 in front of you. Stay here or begin to lift onto the right toes, bending the right knee forward, walking the hands forward, looking forward. Stay here or bend the knee more, bend the elbows and try to get the left shin up as high as you can on the backs of the arms. Attempt to get the shin up into the armpits. Okay, hook the left foot to the outside of the right arm, shift the weight forward, look forward, shift forward, lift the right foot up, kick the butt with the heel, and either stay here or extend the right leg straight. Keep thinking of that Tom Petty song. Learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Okay. Next side. So let yourself be surprised by the second side. It is often the case that your limitations on one side are different than on the other side. Okay, so let's plant the left foot. Create a wide base with the left foot. Turn the right knee, right toes out. Flex the foot, place the ankle over the right thigh. Sorry, right ankle over left thigh. Okay, get your bearings. Check it out. Choose to sink the hips into your bar stool. Choose to look forward and hinge forward at the hips, folding the chest over the right shin. Choose to bring the fingertips to the floor or to the blocks in front of you. Choose to bend the knee more deeply, bend the elbows, try to get the shin up behind the tricep muscles, even up into the armpit. That will depend on the flexibility of your hips. Hook the left foot to the right foot to the outside of the left arm. Look forward, walk the hands forward, look forward. Shift the weight of the lower body onto the back of the right arms. Kick the left heel into the hip. Look forward, lengthen the left leg back. Come on down. Stand up. One more time, just stand up. And then get down. Get down on the floor. We're here to stay. Feet hip width distance, heels into the hips, arms along your sides, push the feet down, lift the hips up. Shifting into a little baby bridge pose. Grow your bridge, interlace your fingers behind the back, tuck shoulder blades underneath.
Push the feet down, lift the hips up, lengthen along the back of the neck, tilting chin to chest, maybe even looking down the front of your pose. So I always say this because I always observe in myself, is there one side of the pose that is higher than the other? If so, can you concentrate on that lower side, perhaps with the idea of breathing into that corresponding lung with more vigor, with more intention. Transforming the pose from inside out.
Lower the hips down, untuck the shoulders. Take the feet as wide as the mat, let the knees fall together. Hands onto the body. One to the abdomen, one to the heart. Soft gaze or eyes closed. Again, do some data collection on the breath. What are you noticing? With this information, how might you begin to transform the breath? And last one, bridge pose. I'm going to do a bound bridge. You can either do bridge as we've done, bound bridge as I will instruct, or you can even come up into wheel or some other back bending situation. Okay, feet are parallel, knees are hip width distance. Push the feet down, lift the hips up. Either slide the hands with palms face up underneath the heels, tucking the shoulders underneath the chest, or if you can, grab the outer ankles and then push the feet down, lift the hips up, shoulder blades on the back, look down the front of the body once again, identifying incongruency, troubleshooting from within. 3 breaths here, 3 more breaths here. Upon completion of that 3rd breath, lower the hips down, widen the feet apart, let the knees fall towards one another or together, lengthen the tailbone, hands onto the body, gaze soft or eyes closed. Okay, lift the feet, cup the knees, push the knees into the hands, and then sway the hips side to side. Massage the low back. And then draw the knees in and up towards the armpits, take hold of the outside edges of the feet, and then orient the feet skyward, moving into full happy baby. Shift side to side. Rocking one knee down and then the other. And from here, bring the inner feet together. Interlace the fingers around the outer edges of the feet. Soles of the feet in, knees out, reclined bound angle pose. Extending the back body along the floor. And you know what time it is. Time to show yourself some love. Bring it in. Draw the knees together. Wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs. Show yourself some love, some gratitude for making the effort today to be on your mat for the sake of this awareness of body, presence of experience. Chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees. Squeeze the legs in, round the spine. Hug, get small, get tight. And then let it all go. Extend out through the arms and down through the legs. So I like to say my classes are 90, 75, and 60-minute-ish because inevitably I go over time. But nobody's coming in after me to teach a class, so I take that liberty. Okay, so I am going to take a legs up the wall pose and in lieu of an inversion today. So I encourage this is a good way to end the practice. So if you have some uninterrupted wall space, you might take the short end of your mat to the base of the wall, and then place a blanket, a firm pillow, or a bolster at the base of the wall on which to rest your hips. If you have any items that you like for the purpose of feeling comfortable, feeling present, maybe in the form of a sweater, a pair of socks, or a blanket, even like a little stuffed animal you might have in your house. See, that's the advantage of doing this at home. You could have your lovey that you have been holding on to since childhood, and nobody's gonna see it. So go get that. And then when you're ready, if you're taking legs up the wall, swing the legs up the wall. Situate your hips up on the padding. If you have a strap and would like to use it, make a loop in the strap so that you can place it around your ankles, keeping your feet hip width distance without worrying about the legs falling down off of the wall. So I've been making more of an effort in my practice and emphasizing the concept that by putting more attention into the setup of this pose, we might have more more devotion to the practice of this shape, to the arrival and reflection that is possible here. Take the arms out to either side, turn the palms up, rest the shoulders back. And today we'll do a mental scan of the physical form, starting with the toes. Notice any tension or activity that might be residing there. And upon noticing, encourage release. Invite your toes into this time and space of rest and reflection. Move that awareness up the soles of the feet, the bones, muscles, flesh of the feet, the ankles, the shins, calves, knees, thighs. Tell those strong legs to take a break. Now send awareness into the fingers, both hands. Unclenching, unfurling the fingers, opening the palms. Soften the wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms. Settle the shoulder blades into the earth behind you. Now send awareness down into the pelvis, the glutes, the outer hips, the lower abdomen. Identifying tension or action, inviting release and rest. Moving up the spine, the torso. Keep sending that message of ungripping, release in and around the rib cage. And up the chest, the neck, the throat, the back of the skull, the temples, forehead, ears, cheeks, jaw, lips, nostrils. Identifying what tension remains by identifying the possibility of rest, of peace. Soften the eyelids. Observe the body at rest. Become aware of your breath. And again, consider this concept that upon this consciousness of breath, there is a instinct or a reaction to change the breath. Notice that impulse in this moment. Start to reanimate fingers and toes, then gradually moving up into the wrists and ankles. Eventually bend the knees. If you have a strap around the ankles, remove it. Extend the left arm along your left ear and roll off onto your left side, transitioning from our corpse pose into a fetal position. Reborn from the practice. And finally, attempt to keep the eyes closed and make a transition back into a seated posture. Once again, establish a connection with the earth through the legs and hips and uprise from that connection. Grow tall along the spine as you bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll chant Om one single time to close the practice. Excuse me. Exhale and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, your dedication to the practice, your focus throughout. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Thank you for Christiana. Thank you for saying something on the live chat. It's nice to know who's out there practicing. Let me know if you have any questions about this class or about the stream in general. I'd love to hear from you. You probably have my email address, but for those of you who may not have my email address, you can contact me at athenspublic@gmail.com. And also, I'm still curious about the idea if anybody would have any interest in checking in before class. On Monday, I have a group that I do a half-hour Zoom meeting with before the practice, just talking a little yoga, talking a little life. It goes by pretty quickly, but it's just a nice way to anchor the practice, maybe so that you feel you could do it as a way to feel accountable for showing up, or just as a way to keep connected with other people doing the practice. So if you are interested in that, it would just be a half hour before either this practice or the Tuesday morning practice. So email me about that if you're interested. If I get a group of 3 or more people interested, I'd be happy to get that going on a weekly basis. Okay, well, thank you guys, and I will likely be here next week. That's the plan. Monday at 10 a.m., Tuesday at 10 a.m., Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern Time. So hope to see you again then.